I don't know how many of you experience this, but when I turned 50, I got a black balloon. It said "over the hill." In fact, a little card said something about being over the hill. And then I found out that the average age of presidents over the history of this country, including George Washington and back when they didn't live quite as long, was in its mid-50s. The average age of a CEO for the Fortune 500 was mid-50s. And that today, if you're 65, 1 out of every 4 will live past 90. 1 out of 10 will live past 95. So that black balloon that said "over the hill" was hard for me to take too seriously. As probably all of you know, there are certain things that do happen as we age. And there's a great quote by Plato talking about when our physical eyesight declines, our spiritual eyesight improves. And I think that speaks to the wisdom that we accumulate over our lifetime. And I'd like to speak to something else that we talk about when we think about people getting older. And I don't know how many of you might be forgetful or forgot a thing or two. But they try and connect that to people losing their mind as they get older, when only 7% of people over 65 actually have any significant or clinical difficulty with their memory, what we would call significant dementia or, yes?
I say the older you get, the more you have to remember.
That's it. And it's cognitive overload. That's it exactly. And I will tell you, and I use this analogy. I spoke to a PEO group not too long ago, and I said, do you remember how many books you had on the bookshelf when you were 12 years old? There weren't a lot. Actually, I had a bunch of Hardy Boys books, but I don't know if you remember those. But anyway, seriously. Now fast forward 30 years, and you're 42 years old. You had a little bit more to remember. Then fast forward another 30 years, you're 72 years old, you have a lot more to remember. Well, different than a computer or a sophisticated algorithm that Google uses or something of this nature, which is just bringing back information bits, we have intangibles connected to every bit of information we store. Because we are humans, so there are feelings, there's a sense of smell and taste and literally the physical senses, as well as other things that our memory connects to that bit of information. And it could be something as little as talking about an apple pie in a recipe. Those aren't just bits and facts like they would be with a computer retrieving information. As we know, that memory of an apple pie has a lot of memories to us. And so when you think about it, it's easier for that 12-year-old to remember what you said 2 days ago about the apple pie than it is for us who have so many memories connected to just that one thing. And so it is cognitive overload. I tell people that get frustrated trying to retrieve information to remember cognitive overload, not use the term senior moment because it's really spreading a myth.